भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So the shloka says sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoy, lavamatra sadhu sanga. Seeking the company of realized saint is so powerful that even when we associate with them for a tiny fraction of second, lava means 1/14th of a kshana. Kshana is 1/8 of a nimisha. So lavamatra sadhu sanga. Nimisha in English is second. Nimisha. Nimi means eyelid. Eyelid, nimi. Nimisha means the time taken by the eyelid to close and open is called nimisha. It will take a second. Within this time, the nimi, eyelid, will come and close and it will open. It does so many times by itself. We are not even conscious about it. It goes on automatically. Eyelid keeps closing, opening, closing, opening. We are not worried about it. And the time taken by the eyelid, nimi, to close and open is called nimisha. And when that time is divided further, it becomes kshana. And if the kshana is divided even further, it becomes lava. So lavamatra sadhu sanga means it is fraction of a second. Even that time, if we can have a company of a pure person, that plays a very big role in our life and that creates a lasting impression. That is why the great devotees are hankering for the company of those devotees. Even Krishna loves to associate with those kind of pure personalities. Lavamatra sadhu sanga. So today in the session we will discuss on various topics how influential it is when we associate with different people. First, associating with dead matter. Don't think it doesn't have any influence. Even a dead matter, a lifeless matter in this world has got an influence. It can influence us. It can influence our consciousness, even matter. You know, we all know how much Arjuna was attached to his Gandiva. There are many people who are madly attached to their cars. There are people who are attached to their cellular phones, computer, electronic gadgets, machines, you know, madly attached to it. Some people are crazy about watches. Some people collect pens. You know, even dead matter is very attractive. It's influential. and they're very much attached to the dead matter. And the dead matters plays a role in their life. So in Ramayana, there is a small beautiful instance of a sadhu getting attached to sword, talwar, sword. One sadhu, he simply wanted to keep away from everything in this world. So he isolated himself to the deep jungle, and he was living in a hut there in the jungle. And he was very peaceful because he is not disturbed by anything material. So Bhagavad Gita very beautifully says, the senses are the gateway to mind. If we want our mind to be detached from something material, don't allow the senses to involve in that material. That is all. You know, yesterday I was telling this example, the same example yesterday we were discussing. Can you all, for next 1 minute, can you all meditate on Machu Picchu? Is it possible for you all to meditate for a minute on Machu Picchu? Can you meditate? It's very difficult. You can't meditate on Machu Picchu because you don't know what is Machu Picchu. You don't know whether it is a eatable, or is it a name of a place, or is it name of a person. You know, you don't know what is Machu Picchu. Even I don't know what is Machu Picchu. So if we ask you to meditate on Machu Picchu, it is very difficult because you don't have any information on Machu Picchu. So mind can dwell on those objects on which the senses can give information. If the senses doesn't have information on certain thing, the mind cannot meditate on it. So the sadhus are very intelligent. If they want to keep away from something, they will make sure the senses don't get information about that thing. So this sadhu isolated himself deep in the jungle so that he doesn't get disturbed. And he was living like that. And very happy, peaceful, shanti. So one day, a soldier was passing in the evening and he was damn tired. So he somehow wanted to take rest for a few hours because it's a long, tiring journey. He wanted to rest in some place. Then he saw a sadhu's ashram there. So he thought, okay, maybe I can rest in this hermitage, in the sadhu's ashram. So the soldier went to the sadhu's ashram and requested the sadhu, can I stay overnight here because I have to travel quite a long distance and I am coming from a faraway place. I am very tired. Can you permit me so that I can take some rest in your place? The sadhu said, my dear soldier, I am very sorry. I want to keep away from everything. That too, you are a person completely rajasic. You are engaged in war, fighting, killing people. I don't want to get associated with anything like that. So please forgive me. With all due respects, you please find some other place. Then the soldier thought, okay, whatever sadhu says is correct only. I don't want to disturb him. Anyway, he is a saintly person, so I will find some other place. But the soldier requested, okay, I will find some other place. But will you permit me to keep my arms here, my weapons here, so that I'll come and pick it up in the morning? I don't want to roam around with all those things. Then sadhu thought, okay, anyway, it's some weapons, okay. So he told him, okay, you can leave the sword at the corner of my room. So the soldier left the sword at the corner of the room and he went somewhere else and he took rest. And next day morning, he forgot to pick up the sword and he left the place. So the soldier did not return to pick the sword back. And in the sadhu's ashram, the sword is lying there for days and days together. The sadhu is so careful, he won't even go near that sword. You know, even dead matter has got influence. Sometimes you enter a certain house, you feel like you just run away from that place. You are not very comfortable in that place. The place is trying to influence you in some way or other. So the sadhu will not even go near the sword, he will keep away. Then he found out that that area is not cleaned and there is so many cobwebs and dust and things. So sadhu decided, okay, let me pick the sword today and clean that area. So he went and he lifted the sword as though he's picking up some contaminated thing. He lifted the sword with 2 fingers and cleaned the whole area and put it back. So every day while cleaning, he will take the sword, clean that area and leave it back. And this went on for a week. After a week, one day, sadhu while cleaning, he just lifted the sword and he was holding it in the arms like a soldier. When he was holding the sword, some kind of a current passed through his spine. He felt very energetic. Wow, it's very nice to hold a sword like that. So what he did some practice like that and left it back. So every day while cleaning the ashram, he will take the sword and do 2-3 circles and leave it. This became a daily program. This went on for a week. And after some day, he thought, anyway, I'm going to jungle to cut wood and collect some fruits and flowers and things like that. Why don't I carry this sword? It will be useful. So immediately the sadhu took the sword and put it on his back. And the moment he kept the sword on his back, he felt like it's like a very powerful Kshatriya walking. He felt very, Paurusha, some kind of some great feeling like a king, like a soldier. So he was carrying the sword to the jungle, and this went on for some time. Every time when he goes to the jungle, he takes the sword on his back. Then on the way, he will chop the creepers, chop some plants, cut some trees, just like for fun. He used to cut everything. And one day there was a green snake crawling on the creeper, a plant creeper. Unknowingly, the sadhu chopped. While chopping the creeper, he chopped off the snake also. He cut the snake into 2 pieces. And immediately his consciousness said, what a mistake, Papa, you have done. You have killed the snake. Then his mind started counseling him. Don't worry. Shastra has given permission to kill a snake. Anyway, snake is a very envious animal, reptile. There is no papa in killing. The mind immediately consoled him. Then this was going on for some time. Then one day while he was going in jungle, a wild cat leaped from the tree on him, and spontaneously, without even thinking for a split second thought, he pulled his sword and just chopped that cat into 2 pieces. Slowly, gradually, the sadhu became a murderer, dacoit, robber, plunderer, simply by associating with a lifeless sword.